what's going on? Welcome back to New Era of Freedom. Take this time out to like, share, and subscribe. Today we're going to be talking about John. John is into sports betting, and he pretty much went through everything and put his last bet, and he's in a bad place. He's lost everything, and we're going to talk about how I'm going to add my commentary into different portions of the story. I'm gonna give you the full story, but I'm gonna give my little 2 cents as well. And we're gonna talk about some solutions at the end. You know, it's a good story. It's a good ending. So it's all about positive and giving you hope. So I hope you guys enjoy the story, and let's get into it. John's hands trembled as he stared at the screen. His heart pounded in his chest. The final seconds of the game ticked away, and with them his last desperate hope. As the buzzer sounded, reality came crashing down. He lost everything. So, I know a lot of you know this exact feeling, this exact emotions that you feel when you've put basically maybe everything you have, and it's like your whole life just flashes before you, but for some reason you just can't stop yourself. And even when I think back on those times and those moments, I'm like, why did I not have control? What was in me? What came over me? What is this energy? What is this spirit? This just lack of control. It's like something just literally takes over you. Like, I'm not trying to sound crazy, but I feel like there's like this demonic spirit behind gambling. It's just, I don't know. It's like very dark. It's very dark. It's like nothing I have ever experienced in my life. There is nothing more compelling, more uncontrollable than the urge to put up another bet, or the urge to go figure out how to get more money to put up another bet to try to recoup those losses. Like, it is really like psychotic to me. There's a psychotic aspect to gambling when you are in addiction, and I know because I've experienced it firsthand. It's like you're completely out of your mind, you're completely out of control. But let's get back into the story, because I really went off on a tangent. But I like to give commentary to these stories as I'm reading them, just to bring the energy and the movement into the story. So anyway, let's get back here. So John was in a really dark place. He'd been betting on a sports book for years now, and recently his losses have become very devastating. Each time he lost, he felt miserable. But he always found a way to convince himself that he could recover. See, that's what I'm talking about. He would rip into his investments, selling stocks to fund his bets. Miraculously, he managed to recover multiple times. But this time was different. This time he failed. So it's the one thing about gambling I can honestly say is that you become so resourceful. You will figure out a million ways to get money in your pocket. And that's one thing I did take from it. It taught me how to be financially resourceful. It didn't teach me how to be financially smart, but it did show me to not give up. So if I ever find myself in a bind financially, I'm always able to figure out how to maneuver things so that I can have money, and I don't gamble anymore, but I'm definitely able to find resources. So let's get back into the story. Last week, John sold stocks again, hoping to recover his losses, but he lost that money too. Desperate, he clawed at times as he sold the rest of his investments, convinced that one big win would make everything all right. Yesterday, he went all in on a money bet line for a team to win. They lost. The crushing weight of reality is now settling on his shoulders as he slumps in his chair, numb with disbelief. It's insanity. That's what it is. It's truly insanity because as gamblers, problem gamblers, you do the same thing over and over again, thinking that it's going to change. When you're in a spiraling and you're just constantly losing, you would think that something in your brain would say, look, I need to step back. I'm not winning. It's kind of like when you're investing in stocks and a stock is just plummeting and you just keep throwing money on it, keep throwing money. And I'm speaking like if you're doing like put options, or what is it called? I forget what it's called, but when you're investing in options and it's just constantly falling, but you're constantly putting money thinking it's gonna go up. It's like trying to catch a knife, a falling knife. You gotta step away. So John's, let's see. Okay. So he took the remaining $5,000 that he had left and he placed it on the very last parlay to try to recover everything. $5,000. He was on the brink of winning until the last leg in his parlay ruined it for him. At the end of the game, minutes away from making back all of his money, all of his losses. Now he was in debt. He has no savings. He never felt like this. He never felt this low in his life. And he's in a very dark place. He doesn't know what to do. His mind's racing as he's recounting everything he lost. Like everything just started flashing before your mind. You start thinking about, man, what if I would have did this? I shouldn't have did this. I should have, could have, would have. Too late now. His mind raced, recounting everything that he lost. His savings, his investments, his self-respect. Everything is just gone. He was in debt with no clear way out. The darkness that had been creeping in at the edges of his consciousness for months now threatened to engulf him entirely. In that moment of despair, a terrifying thought flashed through his mind. A final, irreversible bet. He shuddered, shocked by the darkness of his own thoughts. Here we go. So he's gonna probably find some money somewhere else. Basically, like the end of everything. So, but he didn't, obviously, because when we finish, you're gonna see that he didn't do it. So, with trembling hands, John reached for his phone, but instead of placing another bet, he found himself dialing a number, the National Problem Gambling Helpline. As the phone rang, John actually felt a glimmer of something that he hadn't experienced in a long time. Hope. The compassionate voice on the other end of the line was a lifeline in John's moment of crisis. For the first time, he began to open up about the full extent of his addiction, and that's what it takes. That's what it's all about. The counselor listened without judgment, offering understanding and guidance. John learned that he wasn't alone. Millions of people struggle with gambling addiction, and there are resources to help. The road ahead is going to be challenging, but he faced enormous hurdles in rebuilding his finances and repairing relationships. But most importantly, he needed to confront the addiction that had nearly destroyed him. As the call ended, John took a deep breath. He knew recovery would not be easy, but he was ready to take that first step with professional help, support from loved ones, and a commitment to change. John will find his way out of this darkness. He will learn to find enjoyment and excitement in life without the destructive rush of gambling. For the first time in months, John felt a spark of genuine hope. The journey is going to be tough, but he was no longer alone. He hung up the phone and he promised himself that this was the beginning of a new chapter, one where he will reclaim control in his life and find redemption. So this is really about finding your power, because gambling takes away from your power. It takes your power away from you because you're no longer looking within yourself for what you are able to do to help make yourself happy, to help yourself make money. All of your hope and wishes and promises are in a bet. Think about it. Everything that you hope and wish for financially is all on a bet, on a slot machine press of a button, you know, on putting some chips on a spot on a table, or a roulette wheel, or some cards. All your hope going into some blackjack cards turning over. You know, it's outside of you. And that's why the gambling causes such anxiety, because you have no control of any of it. There is no control at all. You are putting all of your money betting on something you can't even control. That's scary. Like, the more I think about this and the more I'm talking about it, I'm just realizing how insane it is to even think about it. And I'm not talking about just going to the casino, having a good time, having drinks with friends. No, I'm talking about this crazy, toxic, nasty cycle of addiction. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this story and the commentary. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.